Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, Ms. Astrology. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Sagittarius season, everyone. Let me go over the top.
I love the energy. Absolutely love the energy.
Mhm.
Ms. Astrology, we welcome you back to not only talk about Sagittarius season, but to talk about some things that we discussed in the past and a look ahead to the next year. So let us get started here. A number of things. Overall, are we at a good place in Sagittarius season? I know we'll go more in depth, but just to give people a sense of where we are in Sagittarius season.
It's starting to feel better. Things I think we even already feel it, right? Like it's already starting to just genuinely feel better and feel lighter.
Yep.
One thing I am telling people is let's not forget the lessons of Scorpio season and all the things that we were brought to our attention for us to put to an end, for us to allow to transform, for us to rise above whatever those things were during the eclipses in Scorpio season. There were some really transformative lessons that came from that. Let's take those with us into Sagittarius season. We can't forget the lessons that we learned, because otherwise we're going to be like Sag. We're just going to go over the top. We're going to do too much. And then Capricorn season is going to come like you spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
Sure did eat a lot.
I'm already feeling that, and I don't even know if I have Capricorn in my sign or whatever, Sagittarius, but I'm feeling my budget. My weekly budget, my monthly budget already, not making it through the month.
Yeah, no, that's very saggy. We like to go over the top with everything. So that's definitely something to be mindful of. Whatever you go over the top with now, you're going to have to work with in Capricorn season. So if you're really optimistic, you're really hopeful, you're really looking forward to the future, you really believing in yourself, you're believing in the changes and the transformations that you made in Scorpio season, you'll be able to work on that and see more fruits come from that in Capricorn season. But if you're just out here overdoing it, overeating, overspending, over sulking about whatever trauma or sadness happened in Scorpio season, then you're going to have to work through that when Capricorn season comes, and you're already going to be behind. So it's just like focus on the good things. Let this be that light, bright energy that Sag season brings, but be mindful of the other stuff that it can do as well.
Well, there are definitely some politicians that are probably, kind of have their feelings hurt, their faces broke as a result of the elections. And we will talk about that a little bit. All right. So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African-American community by giving stories that inform and empower our people. This Thanksgiving, I started out with a letter of sorts, giving thanks and talking about the importance of our good health and the people that are at our table now who may not have been there a year ago, and vice versa, who may not be there next year. So let's take the time to enjoy each other's company, to give thanks for our good health as we endeavor to, beginning of the new year, we start out fresh with a whole plan. You know how that goes. And also, to help those who need our help, and brought to mind by our friend Sinbad, the comedian, who has suffered a stroke 2 years ago this month, and he is still in the path of rehabilitation. He spent 9 months in the hospital, according to his family. They gave an update. And so we talk about that. We talk about my former boss, Tom Joyner, who also suffered a stroke, but he had the benefit of time, which allowed for the effects of the stroke not to be as devastating as Sinbad experienced. And talked about those people that are out there helping each other. His family, Sinbad's family, is trying to do something. We also give you a link if you'd like to donate to this in the newsletter, because he has given us so much laughter and love and fun. I mean,
just a jolly good time.
He really is. And so if you want to, and this is something that I like to encourage people to do, instead of a lot of gifts and things, to help those who really need our help, that and books for kids. I'm real popular, Ms. Astrology.
I love giving kids books. I love reading kids books too. I do also think that we're going to have a lot of opportunity to heal certain relationships and even certain parts of our body. We get a new moon tomorrow tomorrow, the day before Thanksgiving. And then we get Jupiter, the planet of blessings, is actually back in its forward motion this same day. Really good time to set intentions that if you're going to go see family that you maybe hadn't seen in a while, or last time you saw them, there was tension. This is really gentle, like fresh energy to heal those conversations, those relationships, even certain things within our own mind. It's all about that belief and hope, but this is definitely a good Thanksgiving, I think.
That is great to hear, because I know that one of the discussions we had just the other day on It Sybil was about how to get through the dinner with people who are difficult, with the difficult tensions and misunderstandings and the actions of others, how to get through it, and to know that the possibilities of reconciliation, of coming together without all of that, that's good to hear.
Yes, I would be mindful of alcohol, though, just because it being Sag season and Pisces, both of those two love to go overboard with alcohol. So maybe not do that so much, or, just try to have the conversation before the alcohol kicks in, if that's what you're going to do.
Right.
But definitely be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Good luck as I'm preaching to my own choir.
So that's my contribution to the newsletter, talking about that, and reminiscing when I was a little girl, hearing adults talk about, there's nothing more valuable than to have the gift of good health. And that is so true, as I look back on friends that are not doing well. And so we want to pray for them, as well as to encourage folks to reach out and help, and to open up a conversation with folks who may need that. Also, a conversation led by Cameron Riley, and talking about how Native tribes celebrate Thanksgiving. He said, in reality, 1621 was not the first celebration of Thanksgiving. Between the English and the people, well, now we call them Native American people.
Right.
They tried to ally with the English for trade and to maintain political independence from other Native groups after an epidemic dwindled their numbers. And so they were being political as well as to help others. And so he goes through this and kind of gives us a history of United Americans in New England, and talks about that. So it's really interesting if you want to get, we all know those plays that we did or we see in grammar school, right? and the Indians and the Pilgrims coming together, and let's get to the truth. And that's what Cameron does, and how some Native tribes celebrate Thanksgiving today. And I guarantee you, they're not at Walmart buying expensive
everything.
We're also encouraging people to be careful when you go and visit with families. I plan to be wearing my mask at dinner tonight. I plan to, because of the big three. It's not only COVID, but it's also the flu has come in with a vengeance very early in the season. And then we also have the RSV, which is the respiratory disease that our babies are suffering from. Kids are getting the flu and passing it along to each other in school. And the older you are, and the more difficult it is to kind of shake that off. It has a more devastating effect on older people. And so we want people to be very careful as you are joining together, as kids are coming in from school, coming in from the airports, wherever they've been, and to be very careful and very mindful.
And if you don't feel good, just stay home. Send your love. There's video chat now. Just video chat the whole family.
Okay.
That's so much easier. Have somebody drop a plate off at the front door and keep going.
And keep it moving.
We got Christmas coming. We'll see you then.
and things will be better. Absolutely. Absolutely. We also want to make note, if you did not see it, at the Macy's Day Parade today on Thanksgiving, history, another HBCU participated in the Macy's Day Parade. And this time it was Benedict College out of Columbia, South Carolina.
Love it.
Very cool. Coy Malone talks about this. The Marching Tigers were the 7th historically Black college and university marching band to appear in the Macy's Day Parade. And the band's director is H. Wade Johnson, performed in the parade during his sophomore year at South Carolina State in
Wow.
1975, and now he returns to lead the band, to be the
But it's
director
only
of
been
the
the
band.
7th?
Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how long has that parade been going on?
Oh my God. Macy's Day Parade is what, 100 and something years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the other exciting part is that they have a female drum major.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm very excited
I'm gonna
about
watch
this.
this year.
Okay, okay. And I got to go back and watch it because it was I recorded it, so we'll see. Oh, I'm sorry. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is 98 years old. So
Wow.
100. Yet Benedict College is only the 7th HBCU, as you noted, to participate.
Wow.
So how are we, going to celebrate this? Let's just get out and,
Yeah, be
support them by watching.
supportive. Yeah, watch it.
And
Yeah,
encouraging them to do more of this. Don't wait so
right.
long till the next time and the next and the next and the next. Let's get our HBCUs out there and show folks how a real marching band performs.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That part.
Another one of our contributors, Aprilette Russell. Hope she's having a good Thanksgiving in her new hometown. Eating disorders could be triggered during this holiday season,
Wow.
and that is something to consider. Everyone has a love language, and for some people, it's food.
Right.
And you eat and you look skinny, or you have a strange diet. I have a strange diet, but eating disorders are a real part of our lives, and especially Black people. We don't think about that as much, but it is true, isn't it?
Yes, and a lot of the celebration that we do tends to be around food.
Yep.
Somebody gets married, somebody passes away, has a baby, anything. We come together with food to celebrate. And there's a lot of potential for us to go overboard with any eating disorders this week. But I would definitely encourage people to, on Wednesday, go ahead and set those intentions to be more mindful about how much you eat and what you eat. Get a smaller plate. If you know you have family that has, the potential to go overboard, you don't got to get the big Dixie plates.
Right. Yeah. A platter.
We don't need those. We don't need the big spoons to scoop all the food out with. Let's just make those little mindful choices that are really thoughtful.
And respect the choices that people make.
Right.
Do you know how much time I spent making? Well, I'm sorry, but I have a situation, and this is what I am allowing myself to have. There's stressors that go along with this, and please, let's be mindful of how people are stressed out during this holiday season, and what part food plays in all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. And I understand, people spend a lot of time cooking, and my kitchen is a pass through. But it is not the end all and be all for all of us.
Right.
I do love a good meal, and I miss having really good, tasty meals.
Right.
But not to the point that I want to destroy a diet that, I may be trying to be on, or some special needs, food needs that I have, or trying to get away from something. But the good news also in the newsletter, in the wellness check and check in and check up for your health, talking about the post-Thanksgiving workout and how it does your body good. And that's a good thing for you to do at wherever you are, you're planning to have your meal, to get the kids outside and to run around and with a football or a frisbee or whatever, to play a game. But I always like to encourage people to go outside and play. And I'm like, I'm a grown A person. We all need that. We need the exercise. We need the vitamin D from the sun. We need to, get our blood and our hearts pumping and all of that. And so in Black and Fit, talking about not shaming you for overindulging, but encouraging you to get some exercise post Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, we definitely have a tradition in my household. After we eat, we take a walk around the block, and that's just me not wanting everybody to fall asleep on all my couches and stuff. So I always encourage us, we always take a walk around the block. It just feels so much better. I've not ever worked out or taken a walk that I regret.
Mm-hmm.
So just do it. I promise you won't regret it. You'll feel so much better. Just the fresh air in general is good for all of us. And it's going to be good to get into that routine anyway, specifically as the days are getting darker and it's getting colder. We need to kind of overload ourselves on sun as much as we can right now.
Yep, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat what you want to eat. Don't be forced to do something, but also, maintain that balance. Eat and then get some fresh air and all of that, and some exercise. And we have some suggestions here, and Black and Fit giving you some interesting suggestions on this Thanksgiving Day. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Please take care of yourselves and each other. All right. We are going to just want to give people a look ahead to what we're going to discuss in not only in the newsletter, but we're also going to be talking about this Sag season. And Ms. Astrology, we ran your piece on Sagittarius season last Thursday. Okay. And so we have you on this Thursday, Thanksgiving, to talk about what's in the stars, and as we have been. So we'll talk about that. Remind people that the newsletter is very free. All we ask is that you go to SybilWilkes.com and to give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, including today. If you woke up this Thanksgiving morning, it's in your email box because we have slave drivers who make us work on the holiday and to give people some time with their families. And so
and one thing I love about the newsletter, it's like a quick read. Like, it's short, it's not like long, right? And it's very interesting topics. There's very diverse topics, but they are very much on point and things that like what you need to know. So I love the newsletter. I read it every morning, and I definitely encourage other people to as well. Between the newsletter and Trevor Noah,
I think you and Yolanda Starks White are twins. I really do, because she says the same thing about Trevor Noah. And I laugh because as we move into what's really going on and talk about Sag season, and we will talk about the political show that we did, where you gave us a look at the stars and how things were going to go for political candidates. Right. And so you said, I get my news from Trevor Noah. And that is just brings it's not a bad way to look at the news. I will promise you that, but I do appreciate your patronage of our newsletter. All right, Ms. Astrology, it's Sag season. What does that mean?
It means a lot, like literally a lot. It's over the top. It is no coincidence that the day that we eat the most and the day that we spend the most money on Black Friday are in Sagittarius season, because this is the sign that loves to go over the top and do the most. The arrow is pointing straight up. And so Sag is like, after that Scorpio season, I'm going overboard. Okay. I'm doing the most. And so this actually has the potential to be a really great time. We need it, right? I feel like for most of us, there was just something heavy about Scorpio season, and it needed to be in order for us to appreciate the lightness that comes with Sagittarius season. So it's going to be really great energy, but it also has the potential to overspend, overeat, be over vocal in your beliefs. Like, no, it's because Sag is such a dogmatic sign. And when
is it like my way or the highway kind of deal?
It can absolutely be. Like, I'm so glad I'm older now, because I would get into conversations with people as a Sag, and they would start like disagreeing, and I would be like, you sound stupid. Like, just rude. Okay. And that's Sagittarius energy too. But it is that. So you want to be mindful of, remember, as Thanksgiving and as we're going into the holidays, we really want to heal. We really want to heal our relationships. We really want to heal ourselves. And a lot of this comes from just being optimistic, from allowing people to have their beliefs. As I've gotten older, I've realized you don't argue with people's beliefs. Just listen, just take it in, just take the meat, leave the bones type thing. And just really just enjoy where we're going in this season. And I think that if we can stay aimed high, we can stay optimistic, believe in ourselves, believe in our goals and future and what we have planned for next year, and just focus on that. Then when Capricorn season gets here, we're going to feel so good about putting in the work and starting the new things that it'll be really successful. But if you've overspent, overeaten, gotten into arguments with people, haven't done any kind of healing work, then you'll be kind of behind and in a deficit. And that's will be what you have to work on going into Capricorn season. Earth signs always come after fire signs, because once we get all passionate and excited, now we got to do the work.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a good time. I'm super excited about it. I already feel so much better. And so I think we're all going to feel better. Just be mindful of feeling better. For some of us will be, overdoing it, not being mindful of where we're creating deficits and debt and fat.
Yeah.
Be mindful of fat.
But we're working through this, and
Absolutely.
and that's necessary to have some balance. So have you always, as a Sagittarian, have you always been mindful of what the sign is and what that looks like for you and for others?
Yeah, I've always known that I was a Sag, but I think not until I really started studying did I understand that the potential to just be too much and go over the top was there. Remember, though, we all have Sagittarius in our chart. We all have all the signs. We have all the planets. So there is somewhere that you could overdo it. Maybe instead of spending time with your family, you decide you're going to work extra and put in extra work and, do more things, chores around the house instead of actually enjoying people around the house. Maybe you're going to be too strenuous on the workout instead of enjoy the company and the food and that kind of thing. So there is that balance that we have to be mindful of. That a lot of times when you're sad, you don't learn to be mindful of it until later in life.
And so what is yours? What's the balance that you seek for you?
For me, I like to play and have fun and just like let everything be like, oh, it's going to work out. Oh, it's going to be fine. But I have to learn the opposite of that, because of where all my Sag placements are is, no, ma'am, you're going to have to get up and actually do the work. It's not just going to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to put some effort into it. And if you really want it to be worthwhile, then go do the work instead of just waiting for the fun stuff to show up and just doing that, because then that's still off balance. You've done too much. So credit card debt and all that stuff don't look so good when all you want to do is play.
Yeah, that's real. It's real, right?
And then Capricorn season gets here, you're like, oh my God, I got to save $10,000 by the end of the month.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Okay, so can we talk about some of the things that you see in the stars, and as we have in the past, some of the entertainers and what have you born under the sign of Sagittarius?
Yes.
What it looks like for them.
My favorites. I didn't get our notes today, so we're just going to go for it. I know so many Sagittarius placements, so I think we'll be good.
Okay. All right, cool. What about Jay-Z?
One of my favorites.
Is he?
Yes, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. I love Jay-Z. And I think that he's just going to continue to expand and grow. His chart is in such a beautiful place right now because he's got that Libra moon. So this is just going to be really more opportunity for expansion. He's just going to keep doing what he's doing. I feel like he's been on track for a while now, but that's because he's older now. Remember what I said? We learn those things as we get older. Now that he's older now, he's really learning to expand. I wouldn't be surprised if he did more things that contributed to other people's education, teaching children, education forgiveness, scholarships, kind of things like that. I can see him doing more of, but philanthropy is probably going to be one of the biggest things for Jay-Z. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan.
I am too, in that respect, and what he's doing for his community. Like, he has really led a strong, has shown a strong leadership in prison reform, and especially in one of the worst prison systems in the country, and that's in Mississippi, and put a lot of light on the wrongs being done there. And there are a lot of wrongs that are being done. But
that makes sense for his Libra moon, because that moon, so this is like something that just kind of tugs at his heart, with it being the moon. And the Libra moon, as well as Sagittarius, really do like things to be fair, and they really like justice. And so for him to seek that, I think if he starts some kind of initiative or is more vocal with it right now, specifically this week in the beginning of Sagittarius season, he's going to see so much support, people rallying around him, and really able to make some progress. He's going to do great.
So do you see him buying a football team, as has been rumored that he is one of the people interested in buying the Washington Commanders?
Yes. I can definitely see him really investing with that Libra moon. He's got money opportunities all around him, partnership opportunities all around him. Libra moons do very well. They attract money, and they attract money through other people. So it only makes sense that he's married to Beyonce, and they're like fighting for each other, like who's the wealthiest, who has the most Grammys, all this kind of stuff. So that's that Libra moon. And his Tyler Perry has a Libra moon too. That's why I'm like,
oh yeah,
my sister has one, and man, I'm like, I want a man with money. Any man she needs.
she needs you to be in there pumping her up and putting her in the right places in the right direction and stuff.
I just want to be her wingman.
Okay, I'm not mad at that either. I'm not mad at that either. For folks who want to get in touch with you, Ms. Astrology, while we're talking about the upcoming year, especially, what are you going to be doing in the month of December?
So December 18th, and every December I do a year ahead forecast. This is a live webinar. It's about 90 minutes, sometimes longer, because I always leave a question and answer at the end. And we just go month to month, kind of what the themes are for the month, any major transits, and what signs will be most impacted, along with some insight of how to get through it. So if you can't make it live, or anybody that joins, there is a recording. And I'm also this year adding a PDF download that will just at a glance give you those keywords, the themes, and the insight for that month, because I'm just so big on, if we know what's going on and we pay attention, then we can better use this energy and like cooperate with the planets instead of trying to go against them, because we can't win. We might as well cooperate.
I so loved our conversation about the politicians, and so I'm going to kind of jump around a little bit, because just before the November 8th election, you were on, and we talked about many of the major Black politicians who were running for major offices. One of the interesting conversations was about the general election in Georgia for the U.S. Senate. And you talked about Reverend Raphael Warnock and his challenger, Herschel Walker, and it was spot on. And you said, even if it comes to a runoff, Raphael Warnock is going to win this.
I believe, yes. I still believe that he's going to win. I want to say this, though, you guys, because that's the first thing that came to mind is I don't want people like, oh, astrology, it's not real. She got something wrong, this and that. It's science. So it's really no different than the meteorologist getting it wrong, or even your own physician misdiagnosing or missing something. So this is why you want to learn some of it for yourself, so you can know about yourself. I was so shocked that Warnock did not just blow Walker out of the water.
Yeah.
But he's a Pisces. And so I remember I was like, it's delusion. Like, even for us, we're like, wait, what?
Right.
Are you serious? I do still think that if there's a runoff, I just don't, even as shocked as I am right now, I do not think Herschel Walker is going to win. And I just think it's just a shock for us that he's even made it this far. And hopefully it'll make us all take this more serious. The opposite of Pisces, which he is, and which is where Jupiter is right now, is Virgo. Pisces likes to dream, Virgo likes to work. So for so many of us, we're like, oh, they'll do it, they'll vote. There's no way they're going to let him win. Now we're realizing, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to have to do some work too to make sure this doesn't happen. Let me wake up and get out of bed and go vote on this runoff.
Right. And let's get the most popular Democrat out there to work on Raphael Warnock's behalf, and that is President Obama. Who knows a thing or two about getting out there and campaigning, and knows how to reach out to the people and get things done.
Yes. And Mars is in Gemini right now. So it's good. He has a Gemini moon. He's a Leo, but he has a Gemini moon. So it's good that he's revisiting us, because now we're paying attention. We're like, oh, he's back. Yay. What did you say?
Right.
So it's good that he's coming back out during this time and like campaigning in this way. I think that it is going to be super impactful in this election.
That's nice. That's good to hear. The other thing was the other election in Georgia had to do with Stacey Abrams, and you called that too. You said this was not her time. You said, I wish that I was, she would have called me and talked about what she would be best suited for. And you said in the university, in the education sphere.
And absolutely, I think she's in academia. And then there was a comment on that, and somebody had said, oh, come on, Miss Astrology, everybody goes into academia after politics. Well, I'm saying that Stacey Abrams should do it first.
Now.
Like she should do it now. She should do it instead of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where she's going to thrive. That's where she's going to feel the most satisfaction. And I just don't think that it's her time. And I actually think she was tired. Like she was done kind of with all of that and losing steam. So I'm glad to see her. I'm glad because I think I'm glad for her that she actually didn't want it, but she wanted people to listen to what she has to say. She's so smart. She has so much to teach us, but I need her to know that that's what you're here for, sis, is to teach us.
Right.
We'll get to moving. We'll get to doing things, but tell us what to do, teach us, show us why. And I think she's going to be super excited to go there. It was her. And there was one more Sagittarius as well, who I said the same thing for.
I think
Mandela
it was
Barnes.
Yes. Yeah. Running for the U.S. Senate in Wisconsin. And it was a very close race, but you were right about that one too. And how he should also go into education.
Yep. And I think that he would do the same. The one that I do know that I was wrong was Val Deming.
In Florida.
In Florida. I was wrong about that. And I do remember saying if this was my client, I would pull the tarot cards for her.
Yes. And I think it was Val Demings and it was Sherry Beasley who was running for the Senate in North Carolina, was one of those. And you also called the race in Texas between Beto O'Rourke and Abbott.
Yes.
And you said that Abbott could have this job as long as he lives.
I absolutely think so. I think he's probably, because we have no term limits, I do think that he's going to die in office, quite honestly. But like I said before, he just knows people's secrets. He just knows things. He's got some power players on his team, some people that are probably paying him. Listen, I'm in for the astrology. He's got so many Scorpio placements that you cannot make me believe that there's not some kind of manipulation involved with that. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I called it. As much as I like Beto O'Rourke.
You're right. And you want change and you want to see better for our people, which I don't think this is a political commentary here,
right?
But we're not getting it. Right. We're definitely not getting it. Let's go back to some fun things and talk about these Sagittarian stars. Janelle Monáe, she is a woman who is an immense talent. And a little quirky, a little different, but she's tremendously talented. I don't know if you have her information because I have a list of people. I can go down the list too.
Yes, no, I love Janelle Monáe, and I think that there's just been things for her that she's let, like her mouth. That's big, just like a Sagittarius, to just have so much to say that you kind of put your foot in your mouth. You're like, But another one, Sybil, we see this at least once every show, born on a full moon. She's got a Gemini moon. So I do think with Mars and Gemini and this being at the very top of her chart, from what I see, we might get some messages from her. She might come out and talk to us about some things, might have something to say, might revisit some old things that kind of mess with her career. Because I think she performed for Trump or something like that, and that upset.
Oh, no, that was Chrisette Michele.
Oh, that was okay.
Yeah,
yes,
that was
right,
Chrisette Michele. Yeah.
But Janelle Monáe did something that upset people, I felt like. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I do think that she'll probably just have new work or come out and talk to us about work, or maybe revisit we'll get some of her old stuff coming back, or, maybe kind of change some of her old music and bring it back out. But with Mars being at the top of her sign, I expect to hear more from her through the end of the year.
She's got great commercials. I would buy an Audi if I could afford one. But, I love her work. I really do. Jamie Foxx.
I love him. Yeah,
Jamie's a different kind of cat too.
He's one of my favorites as well. And let me see. Sorry, really quickly, I'm gonna pull up his moon. But he's also one of my favorites. He looks like he's got a Taurus moon. So this is really good again for work. Yeah, he's got a lot of spotlight on him, on his moon. I would not be surprised if maybe baby news was coming from him sometime soon, or settling, maybe buying some kind of real estate or property or something like that. Might be something that's new with the North Node on his sign. So this is puts a real spotlight on him. He might have things going on that he hasn't actually told us about.
He
So
doesn't. He keeps his personal life very
very
close
personal.
to the vest. He keeps
Yeah.
his personal life personal.
Yeah, him and Lauren London have these same placements. She's also a Sagittarius
Oh.
sun with the Taurus moon, and she's very private as well. And but a lot of what they go through in their private life is something that's probably going to come out a little bit more. But it's already stuff they've been working on.
Right.
It's not brand new. They've been keeping it to the chest for a long time, but now they'll feel a little bit better about actually bringing some of those things out, feel a little bit more comfortable about talking about it. I've been seeing Lauren London a lot more lately doing interviews. She's got some ads and stuff like that going on. So I think they're going to come out and share some of what they've been going through.
I hope she finds happiness. I'm you know, when you've been through something so violent and the loss of her fiance and then, you know, the mourning period and all of that, I hope that she finds, you know, whatever makes her heart, her spirit happy.
She's definitely searching it. She's got some really great interviews that are out there right now. I just love her so much. She's not only beautiful, but she's definitely been through a lot.
Right. Okay. So here's a woman who is very volatile, and you just never know from one moment to the next. And that is our friend Monique. Her heart is good. She is just kind of all over the place sometimes, but it appears that, you know, she may be getting back on the track with her career in settlements with Netflix or whatever.
That was really nice for her. And that just kind of goes to show about her luck. She has an Aries moon. One thing that I just would like to reiterate to Monique is she's going to have to keep her attitude in check. And she's going to have to keep just that vocalization and always having something to say. And I told you, but because it's so much fiery, feisty energy. But with her having Mars in Aquarius, the people really do support her. Like, people really do love her. But at the same time, it's also easy to rub people the wrong way just because things tend to come out of your mouth like fire. Like, everything is so passionate, so fiery. It's like, whoa. I mean, I hear you, but do you got to scream?
Right. There's a way to do this. And you have said over the last couple of months, especially, there are times where you just have to watch your mouth, watch your words.
Absolutely. Watch your words, watch your mouth. When Mercury is retrograde, or there's a retrograde in a Mercury ruled sign like Gemini. Gemini rules Mercury and Virgo. So when any of those things are happening, you really need to watch your mouth. So if Monique is being offered any opportunities right now, which I think so with Virgo and Jupiter and Virgo, she does have work coming back to her, but she also has Saturn in Aries. She's got to work on her emotional intelligence, emotional control, and just staying as calm as possible. I also feel like there's some healing that's probably going on in her body. And that's something that she's been working on kind of behind the scenes. And she'll maybe talk to us about that a little bit more. But the most important thing is going to be for her to just chill out.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her like having all these issues again, but it's a fiery chart.
We can come back to some of those. I want to. There's some other names that I want to look at, like Russell Wilson, who has made a big change this year in going from one team to another and not having a great season. But he's got a great family life. It appears to be a great family life, and others that are also going through change. Nicki Minaj, Tyra Banks, and Jermaine Jackson, who we don't hear a lot about these days, but that is one. Let's talk a little bit of what's going on in our trending topics. And this has to do with your friend and Mr. Teflon, Donald Trump. The Supreme Court has backed the effort by the House committee to obtain his tax returns.
Finally.
That's big.
Finally. How long have we been waiting?
Right. So the Supreme Court,
right?
These are, you know, the people that he put on there.
He put in office, right?
Yeah, and starting that conservative majority cleared the way for the House committee to obtain several years of his tax returns from the IRS. And this is a big win for the lawmakers that brought to an end a 3-year court battle. He argued the committee's requests were a pretense for an improper purpose, making his tax returns public to gain a political advantage. And of course, now that he has already announced that he's running for president, I don't know what this will hold in the future for him.
I predict he's going to drop out. For one, I don't think he's going to actually run. So I say that because remember, Mars is retrograde. So anything that you kind of start right now You can be like, never mind.
Right.
Okay, let me stop. I didn't actually mean to do that. So
Mhm.
I expect him to drop out. I don't expect him to stay in this. And then I wonder, like, so what does this mean if we see his tax returns and he drops out?
Right.
Like, what exactly does this mean? Is there going to be any repercussions for him? Is he even going to get in any kind of trouble? Because he's Teflon Don so far. He
Mhm.
hasn't gotten in any trouble. And I know we really want him to, but I just don't see it. Like,
Right. Right. So all of these things, like a special counsel
mhm.
appointed to look into the Mar-a-Lago stuff, as well as his efforts to overturn the 2020
Mhm.
election results. That's one thing. The sister attorney general in New York and suing him and his family members
Right.
for inflating the value of the prices of their properties and what have you. You see him evading any kind of
And I
punishment for
don't mean
this.
that he'll necessarily get away with all of it, but he is not young. And so even if he dies first, like, I just don't see any real repercussions. He's definitely not going to go to jail. I don't
Mhm.
think he's going to go to jail. Like, the most that's going to happen is they're going to say he can't run for president. And a couple days before that, he's going to say, I changed my mind. I don't want to be president anymore.
Right, right. So
Well,
that's what's so interesting to me. You see him because of Mercury being in retrograde.
Mars retrograde.
Mars. So you see him dropping out because that's been a lot of conversation over the last couple of days.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to stay in it. I don't think that he actually meant to do that. Mars is on his sun sign, kind of revving him up, but it's retrograde. So when it goes back in the right direction, he's going to be like, wait a minute, I actually rather go take a vacation. I'd rather go sit down somewhere. I think for Donald Trump, he actually just really likes the applause and
The attention.
and
Yeah.
the attention. So he was just doing it for attention. I don't think that he actually wants to be responsible for, anybody. Like, I don't even think that he actually liked being president. He just was like, I'm gonna show y'all I can do it, because he is a Leo rising.
Mhm.
So that's just really was like, look what I did. And then I come in there inside of the insurrection, never showed my tax returns, did all this and that, and
Nah, 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 nah,
had
nah.
the nerve to say I'm coming back next time.
Right, right. and I'm gonna bring my friend Herschel with me.
That right there might be another way that's going to get Herschel Walker not voted in, because if Donald Trump is, supporting him, everybody's going to, no, thank you. Yeah.
So, one of the other things that has come out in the news, this may be the last Thanksgiving for a while, with family anyway, for TV reality stars Todd Chrisley, and he's been sentenced to 12 years in prison for bank fraud, tax evasion, and his wife gets 7 years.
7 years. Like, it
Yeah,
just feels like shocking one. Like, wow.
right.
That's a long one. It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh, is it fair? Oh, but he's got Saturn and Scorpio. So yeah, this was a lot of secrets. This was bound to come out. Pisces, he had no idea. Or he at least thought that he was going to get away with it. He
Right.
really thought that he was going to get away with it.
And it was an affair apparently that he had with one of his assistants and they broke up, that led to this former fling going to the authorities and letting him know that what he was doing.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense with that Saturn and Scorpio. You got to learn how to keep your pants buttoned up.
Mm-hmm.
Because that'll be a hard lesson that you learn later. Pun intended.
But his wife is involved in this too. She's going to get 7 years.
Oh my gosh, they've already been sentenced to that. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sorry, Mr. Chrisley. It feels horrible. I definitely feel it for his granddaughter and like his mom and all those other people that are involved and that have been living this extravagant life.
Yeah.
But they say, and it seems to be so true, that everything that's done in the dark comes to the light.
Yep.
And with Jupiter and Pisces, all your little delusional secrets, things you think you're getting away with, are going to come back out. He's got a lot of water energy. That man been crying nonstop.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk some more. That's I was talking to a friend in our text chain, and she said, I was just talking to him the other day and he seemed confident talking about Todd Chrisley. And I said, well, the confidence probably is gone now, and that might have been some false bravado in trying to, make people believe that, oh, we're good, and really trying to convince himself more than anything else.
I think they said his attorneys were asking for like 18 months of house arrest.
Yeah.
And he got 12 years in the feds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the opposite day.
Yeah, okay. That's the judge saying, good for you. No, no.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. So I just wish the best
Exactly.
for his grandbaby and his mom, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
tragic.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There are people who are really suffering. And so I don't feel sorry for that, but what can I say?
Right.
Let's talk about one of my favorite football players, although I still don't watch the NFL because until Colin Kaepernick gets a job.
Right.
I don't care what kind of black quarterback they bring in Chicago. They are those people. I've told this to my cousins the other day. The Chicago Bears management and the coaching staff should be brought up on charges because they are letting this kid get killed, and they should be charged with murder because they're killing this kid. But that's neither here nor there because I'm not watching. So there. But what about Russell Wilson? He's a good-looking Sagittarius.
Yes, he is. And I actually really like him a lot. And he's got that Leo moon. So a lot of fiery energy for him, and Mars in Aries, which is a prime indicator of a professional athlete. But he's got Saturn opposite of his moon right now. So the things that used to feel good to him, like playing football and the team that he was on, don't quite feel the same, or he's actually got to work a lot harder to kind of get that same kind of feel good energy. I also think that they're not necessarily, his team is not supportive or celebrating him or protecting him even like they should be. They probably think he's a showboat. Who does he think he is? He comes in with all this cockiness, which he probably did.
Yeah.
I mean, Sag can be cocky and then throw in a Leo moon. They think they're literally the sunshine. So maybe he did come in with some cockiness, and he's got to learn how to fit in with this new group. But at the same time, it's not going to be easy with him having Saturn and Aquarius. Aquarius is our friend groups. It is our social groups that we hang out with. And him having Saturn there, he's about to learn some hard lessons about who his real friends are and who his real groups are. And I hope he sees it more like work instead of like play, like, you know what I mean? Like maybe where he was,
like he's going to work every day.
Go to work. You're going to work, and a lot of times we go to work and I ain't friends with these people. I work with these people, and that might need to be the mentality that he has, it not being so showboat. I wouldn't let my wife come up there. I wouldn't talk to them about any of those things. I would just keep it separate. Keep it separate where he is right now. This is a tough lesson for him to learn. And he's got like a whole nother year. Saturn is going to be there till the end of next year. And so he's really got some lessons to learn. They're not going to be easy. But if he can keep them different and he can get his applause from home and from his intimate relationships, then it'll make him have more success on the work front. And they'll have a lot more respect for him then.
I'm going to tell him to call you.
Yes, please do. Yes. I would love that. Yeah, I like him. I like his chart a lot. I like it.
Good. What about a young woman who has a lot of talent, and she may be right where she wants to be, but her personal life is interesting in her choices. But Robin Givens, an extremely talented young woman, and I don't know about
where
her
has she been?
Life. Exactly. She was in a TV series for, I don't think it made it past the first season. But and I, when you don't see her, she said, "Oh, I've been raising my kids," and so she has 2 boys. But she has a really interesting story to tell.
Oh, yeah. And I think that she's probably having a hard time telling it. She has a Virgo moon. She's got actually quite a bit of Virgo placements, although she is a Sagittarius. And so she's learning a lot of lessons and she's growing in a lot of ways, but she might be even criticizing what she's been through and not comfortable opening up about it because she doesn't want to be criticized. She's already hard enough on herself about it that there's no way she'd be able to take other people judging her or having anything to say about what she's been. That's why she's like, oh, I'm taking care of my kids. Oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, instead of like telling us about really what she's going through, what she's been feeling, some of the dark places that she's come out of, but she's just too critical of that anyways. With Jupiter opposite from all this Virgo energy in her moon, maybe she'll find some healing over Sagittarius season and find this to be a lighter energy for her that allows her to kind of go higher, if you will, but I don't necessarily see her sharing much with us. Okay. And I think this is because this is like the same thing. Nicki Minaj has this same thing as well. Right. She's a Sagittarius with a Virgo moon. And do we even know her baby's name yet?
I don't know. That's a good question. She
calls him Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Period. Everywhere.
Right.
And it's like, still, she wants to keep this to herself. She doesn't want any judgment. She doesn't want anybody to have anything to say about it. Here's what she wants y'all to talk about. And then she wants you to be on her side about it. So I think Robin Givens is maybe having a little bit of a hard time to sharing some of what she's been through, because she's like, y'all might not be on my side. Where Nicki Minaj is younger and probably like, no, y'all need to hear what I got to say. Right. This is what I got to say. I think she has the most beautiful smile ever, but I am not a Nicki Minaj fan. And I would like to see her. To me, she kind of gives she's like the other side of Sagittarius. She's over the top, think they know everything, and I get what she's saying, especially like not getting a Grammy nomination and stuff like that. But it's also about, okay, maybe you're just being a little bit too critical, too mean girl, there's just these other things that I just kind of pick up from her. So right. I would love to see her just go into mommy mode.
Yeah. And you know, if we don't like your kid's name, so what?
Oh, what? I mean, who cares? There's people that name their kids Blue and Nora.
Yeah, and you know, it's
Apple and stuff. Who cares? My name is Juanica. Like, who cares?
How did you get your name? How did you get your name?
I've asked my mama that. She's like, I don't know, Pumpkin. I just thought of something. Don't you like it? I'm like, yes, Mom, I love it. One time I told someone my name, and she was like, that's strange. And I literally got very defensive about it. So I could probably see why Nicki Minaj would get the same way. Like, I don't want to share these things, because I was like, it's not strange. It's different. There's no sign. Like, I literally went off on this girl, and then I was like, that was rude. I don't know her. I'm going to leave. But I think that Nicki Minaj probably deals with some of those same things where she doesn't want to be criticized, but she does want to be supported as she criticizes other things. So, but I just would like to see her go into mommy mode. And I think that for Robin Givens, whatever she's learned while in mommy mode, I would like to see her to be open to sharing those things, but I just don't know that that's something that she's going to be able to do.
Right. Got it. Yeah. All right. We're going to close with another interesting entertainer. And this is somebody you want on your side. Okay. She knows what it means to be a part of a group and to you know, take care of your own. This is from our Who Got You file. And Kelly Rowland quieted the crowd at the American Music Awards the other night when she was there for Chris Brown, who won an AMA, and the crowd started booing. And she wasn't having the boos when she announced his win and telling the haters in the audience to settle down.
I love Kelly Rowland.
She announced Chris was the winner for favorite male R&B artist. As soon as she mentioned his name, you could hear the boos in the crowd, and she shut that down with a quickness.
Well, she's an Aquarius, so she don't play that. Like, Aquarius is about, no, we're going to be fair. We're here as a group. We're going to support the group. We're about the collective overall. And so I feel like that's where that Aquarius energy from. And this was a big test for her because Saturn is an Aquarius. Like, I bet at the moment she was like, no, I got to stand up for what's right. I got to vocalize what's right because that wasn't right. And I love Kelly Rowland. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I do too. Yes. And I love that she did that. And I love that she was vocal about it. And I think that was probably a huge confidence booster just for her in general. Like, she's like, you know,
she almost went into mama bear mode and taking care of, she was like, he's a tremendous talent, you know, respect the man's talent. You know, whatever happened in the past, Rihanna's forgotten about it. She's definitely moved on. And,
And Rihanna was fighting him too.
Like, there was that.
This is what I try. Like, I'm not saying it's okay, but he didn't just beat her up. They were fighting.
They were fighting each other.
So there's a lot of difference with that. And if she's able to get over and move on, and we see her with tremendous success, Chris Brown is an amazing entertainer.
He really is.
He really, really is. Let's just honor the art and the entertainment. And this was what, 8 years ago or longer than that?
Oh yeah. Oh,
it was
yeah.
a lot longer than that. So I think Kelly Rowland, she has a Taurus moon. So this also just really, the spotlight was on her. This was something that was bound to happen in some kind of way, shape, or form. The spotlight was going to be on her. She was going to be heard. I'm really, really proud of her for standing up and speaking up. And I think it actually made her feel really, really good.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah,
and I hope that it, makes people take a different look at him and appreciate his talent too.
Yes, he's so talented.
He really is. He's an amazing talent.
Yes.
All right. We close out with our daily inspiration, Yogi's Jewel. And on this Thanksgiving Day, remember and a reminder that every day is a day to give thanks.
Absolutely.
So we are so thankful for you and your talents and sharing it with us. Once again, tell people how we can follow you and we can be a part of your webinar on December 18th.
So my website is cosmicallylit.com. I am Miss Astrology on all platforms. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I suggest everybody go to the website, get the newsletter. I have one that comes out once a week. It's free as well. And that's where you can also get join the webinar.
Okay. Fair enough. You go to my website and get my newsletter. I go to yours and get yours. So that's fair. Yes. And I wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes, my birthday is on the 29th. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful trip around the sun.
Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Enjoy your family. Let those healing conversations happen and enjoy some good food.
Absolutely.
Your diet.
And we are so thankful for you. And we're thankful to all the folks that are watching tonight and for joining us on the regular, reading the newsletter and all of that. Go out there and be good to each other. Aloha.